You stand at the edge of the abyss. Every star-faring race knows this place. They call it the Corvus Expanse, a name whispered with fear and reverence. It is a scar on the face of the galaxy, a patch of darkness where no light escapes, and certainly where no ship returns. The stories are universal. They are traded in every port across every quadrant. Tales of ships vanishing without a trace. Warnings etched into the data cores of ancient probes. The Gnorc traders say it is a cursed realm. The ethereal Lythene sing of its profound sorrow. They claim the silence there is a scream. Every map of known space marks it clearly. A vast black void, a cosmic skull and crossbones. The final authority of every race agreed. This territory is forbidden for all time. Entering it is an act of cosmic suicide, a final insult to the order of things. Yet here you are. You have listened to the warnings. You have read the frantic reports. You ignored every single one. Because you are human. And humanity has a certain deafness to warnings, especially when a mystery is involved. You look into that silent darkness. You feel it calling to you. Your ship is the Dauntless. The name is a small joke, you tell yourself. It is less a starship and more a collection of parts. Parts that fly in loose formation. It is a testament to human defiance and to your own strange way of thinking. You built it from scraps and forgotten tech. Other races build ships of flowing light. Their vessels are seamless works of art. The Dauntless is a brick with engines. Its hull is a patchwork of mismatched alloys. Its systems are a tangled mess of wires. Wires you understand better than your own heart. It is crude, it is loud, but it is yours. Inside, the bridge hums with a familiar energy. The air smells of recycled oxygen and hot coffee. The ship's AI is a cobbled-together personality. It speaks with the voice of a long-dead comedian, a feature you find endlessly amusing. Nobody else seems to get the jokes. The Dauntless is an extension of your will. It is the only companion you have out here, on the edge of everything. It is a vessel built for one purpose: to go where no one else dares, to push against the boundaries, to answer the questions no one else will ask. You take a final look at the star charts. The glowing red lines scream at you to turn back. They represent the consensus of 1,000,000 years, the collected wisdom of countless civilizations. You smile a little. You were never very good at listening to consensus. The Dauntless agrees with a low rumble. You push the throttle forward. Your unconventional ship lurches with protest. Then it accepts the command. It crosses the forbidden boundary. The very stars seem to hold their breath. The constant hum of the galaxy vanishes. You have breached the silent veil. The change is immediate and deeply unsettling. The background radiation of the universe disappears. All your sensors fall silent at once. It is like stepping into a soundproof room, a room the size of 1,000 star systems. The silence is not empty. It is heavy, full of unspoken weight. Outside the cockpit view screen, the stars look different. Sharper, colder, as if seen through a perfect vacuum. There is no stellar dust, no faint nebulae, just the hard points of light against absolute black. The silence presses in. It feels like a judgment. Your ship's AI stops telling its terrible jokes. Its synthesized voice is quiet for once. Even the machine seems to feel the gravity of this place. The Dauntless drifts through the oppressive quiet. Every creak of its hull sounds like a shout, a desecration of this profound stillness. You are an intruder here. You check your navigation. The entry point has already vanished behind you. There is no clear way back, only forward into the crushing silence. A deep, primal fear tries to take hold. The fear of the unknown. The fear of being utterly and completely alone. You push it down. This is what you came for. The first system you encounter is a ghost, a single white dwarf star. It casts a pale, mournful light. And orbiting it is something impossible, a planet made entirely of crystal. You guide the Dauntless into a high, cautious orbit. Your long-range scanners begin their work. They struggle to make sense of the readings. You call it the Garden of Glass. Its surface is a forest of crystalline flora. Shards of translucent material grow like trees. They reach up to the dim, white light. Faceted mountains glitter with a cold internal fire. Rivers of what looks like liquid mercury flow slowly. They carve paths through plains of shattered light. The world is breathtakingly beautiful. It is also profoundly sad. As your ship circles, you feel a strange resonance. A soft, chiming melody plays in your mind. It is not a sound your ears can hear. It is a music felt directly by your consciousness, a song of immense and ancient grief. There is no life here, not in any form you recognize. The planet is a monument, a perfectly preserved sculpture of sorrow. The silent song it sings is a lament, a mournful tune for a loss so great it stained a world. You listen for a long time. The melody coils around your thoughts. It is a warning and an invitation. Leaving the crystalline world behind, you journey deeper. The oppressive silence of the expanse returns. But now you know it is not empty. It is a vessel for memory, a container for what was lost. You search for another point of interest, another clue in this vast, silent mystery. You find it in the next system, a place that defies the known laws of star science. A trinary star system. 3 suns, red, blue, and gold. They are locked in a complex dance, and around them, something is wrong. Horribly, beautifully wrong. Your ship's computers begin to scream about the impossibility. Dozens of planetoids orbit the stars. They are not in stable, predictable paths. They move with an unnatural precision. They weave and turn in perfect synchronization. They hold their positions relative to each other. They maintain impossible distances. It is not gravity that guides them. It is intention. You realize what you are seeing. This is not a natural phenomenon. It is a message. The planetoids are the words of a sentence written in the language of gravity itself. The scale is staggering. The genius behind it is terrifying. What kind of mind could write with worlds? You spend weeks charting their movements. You map the gravitational sentences. You translate the impossible orbits into data. The message is slow, ancient. It unfolds with the patience of geology, a story told over millions of years. It speaks of creation, of art, and of a terrible, sudden end. A cosmic sentence left unfinished. A presence suddenly fills your bridge. It is not physical. It is a weight in the air, a pressure against your mind. The lights of your console flicker and dim. The voice that speaks is not a sound. It is a wave of pure thought. It is older than mountains, colder than the space between galaxies. You have come uninvited. The thought echoes in your skull. It is a simple statement of fact, not a threat. But the power behind it is immense. You turn from your console. A shape begins to coalesce near the airlock. It shimmers into existence. A being of pure, focused energy. It takes a form you can comprehend. A tall, robed figure. It calls itself a curator. It is one of the elders ones. A race spoken of only in myths. They were old when the galaxy was young. The curator's form is a courtesy. Its true nature is beyond your understanding. Its mind feels like a calm, deep ocean, an ocean that could drown you without effort. It tells you this place is a graveyard, a memorial to a species long dead. Your presence here is a desecration, a clumsy noise in a place of sacred silence. It explains that the boundary was created for a reason, to keep the galaxy out, and to keep what happened here from ever spreading. The curator's warning is clear. You must leave now, or you will be made a part of the memorial. You ask the curator what happened here. The being hesitates. A flicker of something ancient and painful crosses its mind. It decides to show you, not with words, but with a vision, an image projected directly into your mind. You see a species of incredible power, beings of light and sound. They were called the architects. They did not build with steel or stone. They built with the fabric of reality itself. They could compose symphonies of gravity. They could paint with nebulae. The Garden of Glass was one of their nurseries. The orbital message was a line from one of their poems. They saw the universe as their canvas, but their ambition outgrew their wisdom. They sought to create the ultimate work of art, a sound that would echo through all of creation, a single, perfect note that would define existence. They gathered their power. They focused their entire civilization on this one task. They committed a great and terrible crime, the original sin. The curator's vision intensifies. You see the architects succeed. They create their perfect note. But it is not a note of creation. It is a note of absolute silence. It did not add to the universe. It erased. It spread outwards from their world. It unmade stars. It silenced galaxies. It was a weapon of perfect negation, a song that consumed all other songs. Before it could destroy everything, the elder races acted. They contained the silence. They imprisoned the architect's home systems. They created the Corvus Expanse, a tomb for a species that tried to quiet the universe. You stand before the ancient being, the curator. The weight of its story settles upon you. The crime of the architects was unforgivable. Their art became a plague of nothingness. The solution of the elder races was brutal, but perhaps it was necessary. To save all other life, the silence you feel is the scar of that ancient act. The curator expects you to be humbled. It expects you to retreat in fear and awe. It has shown you a truth that has terrified gods. But you are human, and your perspective is different. You look at the cold, silent stars. You think of the Garden of Glass, the unfinished poem of planets. You tell the curator you will not leave. The thought startles the ancient being. Its calm mind ripples with surprise. You explain your reasoning. A graveyard is not a place to be forgotten. It is a place to be remembered, a place for the living to visit, to learn from the past, to honor the fallen. You make your audacious human claim. You argue that sealing this place away was a mistake. It turned a tragedy into a taboo. It hid a lesson that the galaxy needs to learn. You tell the curator that memory is a sacred duty, not a thing to be locked away. Maybe you could even find a few good coffee beans out here. That gets no reaction. A tough crowd. The curator's surprise hardens into resolve. It calls your reasoning arrogant. It calls your species young and foolish. It cannot comprehend your perspective. To it, this place is a source of cosmic shame, a failure to be hidden. Your refusal to leave is a challenge that cannot be ignored. The time for warnings is over. Your defiance triggers an immediate response. The curator does not need to speak a command. Its will is law in this silent place. A deep hum vibrates through the hull of the Dauntless. On your sensors, 1,000 new signals appear. They rise from the surfaces of dead moons. They emerge from the darkness between the stars. The warden awakens. an automated defense system of incredible age. It is a fleet of silent, obsidian warships. Their design is sleek and predatory. Like sharks swimming through the void, they have no windows, no visible engines. They move with an unnatural grace, leaving no trail behind them. They do not rush you. They simply appear. They form a perfect sphere around your position, a cage made of ancient, deadly technology. Your ship's AI begins a frantic damage assessment. It reports that the Warden ships are cold. They have no life signs, no heat signatures. They are machines, waiting for the order to fire. The Curator gives you one final chance. It tells you to turn your ship around, to flee and never return. It warns that the Wardens are absolute. They do not negotiate. They do not show mercy. They exist only to enforce the quarantine, to destroy any who trespass. This is the final expression of the old law, and it is pointed directly at you. You are trapped. The obsidian warships hang in the void. Their silent menace is suffocating. The Curator's judgment is absolute. Your ship, the Dauntless, feels small and fragile, a piece of driftwood against a tidal wave. Panic is a cold knot in your stomach. There is no escape, no human trick that can get you out of this. Then, a new voice whispers in your mind. It is not the overwhelming presence of the Curator. It is faint, fragmented, like a chorus of ghosts on a bad connection. The voices are legion. They are the echoes of the architects, the species that committed the original sin. They are not alive. They are data, memories, ghosts in the machine of their silent prison. They have been watching you. They felt your defiance. They heard your argument with the Curator. For eons, they have been trapped in this silent tomb, tormented by their failure. Their legacy is nothing but a cosmic warning sign. You are the first being to ever defend them, the first to suggest they deserve remembrance. They offer you a way out, a last desperate gamble. They cannot fight the Wardens directly, but their knowledge remains. They were masters of reality. They understood the deep laws of the universe. They know of a secret, a final creation they hid before their fall, a weapon unlike any other. They offer you their help, their last resort. The ghosts guide you. Their whispers direct your hands over the controls. They give you a set of coordinates, a hidden place within the expanse, a dead star that holds their final secret. You push the Dauntless forward. The Warden fleet does not fire. It follows, pacing you, herding you toward your doom. It seems to know where you are going. The whispers lead you to a collapsed nebula, a graveyard of gas and dust. At its heart is a neutron star. Its gravity is immense. Your ship strains against the pull. Following the architect's directions, you navigate a treacherous path. You fly through fields of stellar debris. You arrive at a small, cloaked station. It orbits the dead star in defiance of physics. Inside, the ghosts show you what to find. It is not a cannon. It is not a missile launcher. It is a small, intricate device, a sphere of swirling light and shadow. It hums with a strange, paradoxical energy. The architects call it their atonement, their apology to the universe. It is a weapon that does not kill. They explain its function. It does not destroy matter. It does not erase life. It targets the consciousness of a being, or the processing core of a machine. It forces the target to experience the full weight of its choices, every consequence, every ripple effect. It delivers 1 billion years of empathy in a single moment. For a living being, it would be a revelation. For a cold machine, it would be a logical contradiction, a paradox that could shatter its programming. You retrieve the device. It settles onto the cargo pad of the Dauntless. It feels both heavy and light at the same time. The ghosts whisper their final instructions. They tell you how to arm it, how to integrate it with your ship's systems. It is their last will and testament, a tool of consequence, placed in the hands of a curious human. As you leave the dead star's orbit, the trap is sprung. The Warden fleet closes in. Its obsidian ships form a tight blockade. They corner you against the crushing gravity of the dead star. There is no room to run, no path to escape. The Curator's presence returns, stronger this time. Its disappointment is a palpable force. You have meddled with things beyond your grasp. The Curator's thought fills your mind. You have allied yourself with the memory of monsters. You have taken up their forbidden tools. It demands you surrender the device. It demands you purge the ghosts from your ship's computer. It demands you accept your judgment. The Curator tells you the Wardens are not just machines. They are extensions of its will. Each ship is a part of its own consciousness, a consciousness dedicated to this single, solemn task. For millions of years, it has stood watch. It has maintained the silence. It sees your actions as a betrayal of all life, an attempt to unleash the Architect's plague once more. You look at the paradox weapon. You feel the hopeful whispers of the ghosts. You feel the immense pressure of the Curator's judgment. You are caught between two ancient forces, a conflict that began before your son was born. Surrender means accepting that some truths should be buried, that some stories should never be told. Running is impossible. Fighting is suicide. A very human answer forms in your mind. It is audacious. It is reckless. It is probably a terrible idea. And that is why you know it is the right thing to do. You will not surrender the weapon. You will not use it to escape. You will face the judgment. But you will do it on your own terms. You tell the Curator your choice. You will arm the paradox weapon. You will face the consequences of your actions. But a judge must also be willing to face judgment. You are going to force this ancient being to feel, to understand the very thing it has tried to bury. You will turn its own sentence back on itself. You open a channel to the Curator, not a psychic one, a simple audio broadcast. You tell it that true justice requires understanding, not just cold enforcement of an ancient law. You tell it that grief is not a poison. It is a part of life, a part the Architects have been denied, a part the Curator has forgotten. Your gallows humor kicks in. You ask if its extended warranty is about to expire. The Curator does not understand the joke. It understands the defiance. The final line has been crossed. The obsidian ships begin to glow. Their weapon ports open. You give the command to your ship's AI. You tell it to arm the paradox weapon, to target the Warden fleet, to target the mind of the Curator itself. The paradox weapon fires. It does not release a beam of light. It does not launch a projectile. It unleashes a wave of pure information, a silent, shimmering distortion in space. It expands outwards from the Dauntless, a symphony of consequence. It washes over the Warden fleet in an instant. There is no explosion, no violence. The effect is far stranger. The cold obsidian machines suddenly stop. Their glowing weapon ports dim. The entire fleet freezes in place. As one, they are burdened. They are hit with the collective grief of the Architects, the sorrow of 1 billion lost souls, the terrible weight of their final, silent note. You can feel the Curator's mind reeling. It is hit with the same wave. For the first time in eons, the ancient being feels. It feels the Architects' passion, their love for their art, their terrible, world-shattering mistake. and the unending agony of their silent prison. The cold logic of its duty is shattered by a tsunami of empathy. The warden's ships begin to drift. They are no longer predators. They are tombs. Their programming is broken, overwhelmed by a paradox they cannot solve: the duty to enforce silence, and the sudden, crushing understanding of the sound they were meant to contain. The machines are paralyzed by the ghost of a feeling. The curator's presence vanishes. It has retreated, overwhelmed by 1,000,000,000 years of secondhand grief. The silence that returns is different. It is not heavy or oppressive. It is calm, peaceful. The Corvus Expanse is no longer a prison. The threat has been neutralized. The warden fleet drifts aimlessly, harmless monuments to a changed reality. The ghosts of the architects whisper a final collective thank you. Their memory is finally free. You are alone again, adrift in the now truly silent expanse. The Dauntless floats in the center of the inert fleet. The path is clear. You can leave now. You can return to the known galaxy. You can tell them the story, the truth of the forbidden place. But a new feeling settles upon you, a sense of responsibility. The curator is gone. The wardens are inert. The ghosts are at peace. This vast, silent memorial has no guardian. It is vulnerable, a place of immense sorrow and beauty. It needs someone to protect it, someone to share its story not as a warning, but as a lesson. Someone who understands that memory is not a burden to be hidden. It is a treasure to be kept. You have become the new curator, the inheritor of this profound duty. You are no longer a trespasser. You are the keeper of the silence, the guardian of the Garden of Glass, the librarian of the gravitational poem. Your journey into the Forbidden Galaxy is over. Your journey as its protector has just begun. You and the Dauntless have a new home and a new purpose.